Dragoons getting melted. It looks like he's losing the majority of his army, not taking out as many tanks as he wanted to. Lost that shuttle in transition, and his army's going to have to retreat. Ended up losing the entirety of his army. Artosis still stands, has quite a few tanks, and he's easily going to be able to take that 9 o'clock location. So wandering up, he's trying to supplement. He really wants to hold this expansion back as long as possible to stay ahead in this game. More gateways being planted at the 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, at the 7 o'clock position here for Lauder, and it looks like Lauder just now getting that Arbiter Tribunal up, which feels actually a little bit late, and I think what I'm surprised by is actually in the back of Artosis' base that Artosis still hasn't put down that armory yet to go for those upgrades, and it looks like at that 3 o'clock position still wailing away at this command center, but has a lot of vultures to really press these Dragoons back. This is a really small attack force for Lauder. Lauder playing very risky right now. He's probably going to lose his army just to vultures right here. The vultures actually still not speed upgraded, apparently, or maybe just bugged out. I'm not sure, but yeah, moving very slowly across the field. There's the speed upgrade now. So Artosis playing perhaps a little bit nervously, now getting his starport up in anticipation. There's finally that armory. I expected that before the 3rd command center once again to play his standard kind of quick upgrade style. Lauder very thin on defense, so he's going to have to absorb some attacks right here and make sure you can just get that Arbiter tech out, maybe play a little bit, actually producing some Dark Templar, and I think this is a good choice for him because the Dark Templar without mobile detection out in the field, first of all, good attack units, very aggressive units that can go out there and do a lot of damage if they're not spotted, if they're not taken care of, and additionally they provide a good degree of map control because your opponent has to be a little bit more attentive as he's moving across the field with those invisible units. A huge ball of mech moving out for Artosis here. And I don't think Lauder has enough on the field to really deal with it. He needs this Arbiter sooner rather than later, and he's just started it up, so he's going to have a long time waiting. So he needs to get the maximum basically result out of these Templar here. And it looks like he was thinking about taking another expansion. Looks like he canceled it actually last second after it was spotted by that barracks, realizing after perhaps seeing this large army moving out that he wasn't going to be able to hold it. He needs to spend more of his minerals in troops. He did manage to sneak that Dark Templar around that backside. A single shuttle going across everything full of Dark Templar kind of spotted out, and the Dark Templar versus a really good combination against that ComSat, and just skipping over that army, and he's going to go directly out into the main here, and it doesn't look like there is a turret up to deal with it. It looks like a speed shuttle alongside, but if Artosis just decides to move in, I'm not sure that there's a lot Lauder can do to stop it. Wow, Dark Templar being dropped here at the secondary. Looks like a turret still might go up there. Artosis holding up a second, having to getting distracted by Lauder, so this is actually paying off quite a bit. More Dark Templar being dropped out here in the main. Let's see if he can micro them. It looks like he managed to scoop one right back up in the shuttle before these vultures are able to get anything done. Still looks like they were still wailing away at the secondary. This Dark Templar already has 5 kills, and really the big thing here is that this is stopping this huge army right here while the Arbiter is being produced, and it looks like that Arbiter will be out in the field, and still more kills. So excellent play here from Lauder, buying himself some time to get that tech to work with, and it looks like he's still got that. He's still going to be able to get out. Maybe, let's see if he goes in range of this turret. Still might be able to get out with his shuttle and with that Dark Templar. Weapons 1's finally coming online, and we see that starport actually not building any dropships or science vessels just yet to help deal with that Arbiter. So clearing the mine there, and he's going to lose that shuttle along that northern ridge. But Dragoons out in position as well as those Zealots. It looks like they're hugging that corner, I think, to get as close as possible to try to sneak around, taking some damage right there. I'm kind of curious where the Arbiter is in the midst of this attack. Running in, the Zealots did manage to get in the mix, but the Dragoons still very exposed to the tanks. More Zealots coming in from the opposite direction. Some High Templar in the mix here as well. And again, I'm kind of curious where I know that Arbiter is produced. I'm kind of wondering where it is in this attack out in the field. It looks like Lauder very nicely cleaning this up, though. He's still going to have a little bit more cleanup to do, but really decimating this army well with what I would consider a much smaller force. Let's see, supply-wise, comparatively, actually going to take down this barracks in the left-hand corner. Lauder actually up exactly where he needs to be, 20 supply ahead. I'm kind of curious what happened to that Arbiter in the field. Maybe it got killed. Maybe he's got a couple of, I'm not sure it's with that observer there. There it is. It's kind of hidden out in the field, and I think Lauder might have actually lost track of it here in the mix. So, or maybe he's just hiding it to the corner and he's making sure he can upgrade. I'm thinking about a recall down the line, and this is where he was talking about as well earlier, worrying a little bit about the execution out into the late mid game, getting a little bit confused here. The vultures completely unopposed here in the secondary, and Lauder actually in a lot of trouble here, not able to follow that attack up with some dragoons, with some zealots. The 4 tanks that were highly damaged able to move right back in. Finally, some dragoons coming in from the right. They should be able to clean these tanks up, but not before severe economic damage happening basically everywhere across Lauder's main. Lauder still not taking a 4th base, or doesn't have his 4th base running. Actually, he does have a 4th base here, but using C, he doesn't have any probe saturation, which is going to put Artosis ahead economically. Now some Goliaths out in the field to help counter that Arbiter, so really difficult position for Lauder once again. Doesn't have a very large army to speak of, and this needs to be the situation where he's just pumping troops out rapidly. Has the High Templar, has a ton of gateways, and has the Arbiters to protect overhead. Right now, Artosis sitting actually pretty. He's got some, after that DT harass, looks like he was able to resaturate fairly quickly. Has the 6 gateways out. Looks like he's going to go a little bit more tank heavy, getting that facility out finally, and has his upgrades rolling. So it looks like he is at level 1 weapons, will have level 1 army shortly, and Lauder taking this 12 o'clock position, and he really is just going to have to hope that Artosis does not scout that, because Artosis could really take that out with a skeleton crew, and Lauder would not be in a position to really press forward and kind of oppose it at all. But Artosis playing uncharacteristically aggressive, just pushing troops in, just kind of doing these soft, slow pushes here, planting down some of the turrets, moving up with the siege tanks, moving up with that large mech ball, really being aggressive and just staking up claim across this lower position, trying to hit troops as they're coming across that lower edge. It doesn't look like he's seeing much. There's that Arbiter here in position. It looks like he is going to be able to catch a Dragoon as it was pushing through. I don't know. It looks like Stasis just halfway in development here. Finally, looks like he finally found that Arbiter is going to come in to go for an attack. Actually coming on at kind of the bad angle. This isn't the angle he wants to come in from. He wants to go across the north. He does have that Arbiter leading, but he needs to, be careful he doesn't lose it to the Goliaths. And this is, again, Lauder's biggest weakness is just execution. It looks like he just moved over this direction, moved into the wrong section. He really needed to attack from the north instead, leading with those zealots to clear those mines, and instead lost a lot of that army and doesn't have a lot to show with it. These 4 siege tanks just kind of hanging there. Still a huge minefield in the way, and a lot of vultures to keep it from happening. Bring around that